right, Jake, when you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Welcome again to the 13th episode of the Brave and the Boys podcast. We have a very special guest with us today. We have Omnidog, Jess Bragg himself. Say hello. Oh, he has the mask.
Yay!
Always. How's it going, guys?
We're doing great, man.
Hey, Jess. We appreciate you being on with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're literally massive fans. I don't drink soda, but in honor of you as my guest, I bought a root beer.
Nice. What company?
So okay, I bought two because I bought one that was a Virgil's sugar free because I don't drink soda, but I tasted bad. I bought a regular root beer with soda. It's called root beer Maine Root. Have you had either of these before?
I've had Virgil's with sugar. Oh, I think I've had Maine Root. Those are usually two good ones. I can't imagine how bad sugar-free root beer is, though.
Okay, I'll skip the sugar-free root beer then, and we'll do the sugar root beer.
Yeah, I'm on a Diet Coke, so I apologize for not having root beer.
No, it's okay. For those of you that don't know, our viewers, Jess likes to do root beer reviews. So the book's terrible. He pours root beer on it. I don't think he does that anymore, though.
I don't.
Yeah, and but yeah. So in honor of him, it's been 69 days or 68 days since I've had a soda. But
Hey, buddy, good job.
Hear what you think of this.
it was hard because that actually is really good. After like quitting drinking, I drank like twice or three times the amount of soda because like anytime I wanted to drink, I was like, oh, and then I got addicted to the sugar and soda. So I was like, I should probably quit both. But
right,
a special occasion like this.
I picked up cigarettes and Diet Coke after I quit drinking, and I quit cigarettes 4 years ago.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
That's awesome.
That was harder than stopping drinking. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't
cigarettes?
pick that habit up.
Yeah.
See, I normally abstain from drinking anyways, so I'm cool on that part. It's just the caffeine that gets me.
Yeah.
I love having coffee every day.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Jordan's 21st birthday. I think I got like 5 times the amount drunker than he did. So he does not drink much. He literally drove home because he was so sober. I think he had like 1 beer.
I had a few, but enough to be fine. Okay, cool, awesome. And so I know Jess is here and he's our honored guest, but we still wanted to show off what we purchased because we just went to the comic book shop yesterday.
It was actually mine and Jordan's first time hanging out in person in probably over a year.
It's
So
been a while. So
super exciting.
Jake, do you want to go first or shall I?
Sure. So I bought 2 books. The first one I bought is Batman Ghost Stories. So this is the 3rd trade in Tinian's run. So I like collecting Batman. I've read it all, but I like to wait. I mean, I wish they were like oversized like deluxe, but they don't release the paperback trades. They only release like the hardback trades now. So I like it. It introduces this new character that's like, again, it's like a Batman that kills people. But Tinian's a really great writer. I loved his Detective Comics run. So I've been reading that. And then the other thing I bought, actually both things I bought I've read before, but I've been meaning to own, as I got the Compendium 1 of Invincible. So I'm pretty sure that Invincible is the only Robert Kirkman thing you like, right, Jess?
I've only read a few volumes. I have all the volumes. I just haven't gotten through them yet. But yeah, I've made it through the first 3 and I've enjoyed it a lot. I just haven't been able to make it through the 12. I just haven't made it through all of it, but I love it. I think it's an amazing concept. And I think
it's awesome. After the TV show ended, I went on a tear, and for like 2 weeks I binged all of it. So like literally, and when you binge all of it, some of the plot points kind of repeat a little bit, and you're like, and some of it kind of loses its muster, but that has nothing to do with the story. That has to do with the fact that I read years worth of content in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But the ending, and I won't say what it is or anything like that. The ending is one of the most satisfying endings ever, I think.
Oh, that's good to hear.
So I was completely satisfied with the ending, and it just made me more excited for the show. Like, it didn't ruin the show for me in any way. It just made me more excited. And in some ways, I feel like the show is better than the book because some of the things in the book like haven't aged well. Like there's a lot of like homophobia, I think, has got kind of in the book that kind of aged out a little bit. But I think they make the book the show a lot more tasteful in some aspects.
Well, you've heard the joke with about Robert Kirkman, right? he always creates a new medium for his content so that he can refine it more and more. So
Yeah.
he started with the comic of, like, let's say Walking Dead, then he had the show, and now he has the video game, and now he has another show. So every iteration just gets a little bit better.
It does feel like it. I mean, there are things that he omitted from the book that's not in the show, and I think it flows better. So the show is fantastic.
Mhm. Cool.
I need to finish the book so I can watch the show.
Awesome.
I don't want the show to wreck the books for me yet.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's what Jake picked up, and actually Jake's the person that found what I ended up buying.
I almost bought it, but I had already spent too much money.
So, I was gonna pick up Joker War, the second volume for the current for the current run on Batman, but Jake, out of the corner of his eye, saw that Batman Dark Knight Detective was inside the shop, number 1 and 2,
Ooh,
Which have been out of print for a while.
yeah,
and
good pickups.
so yeah, just randomly, and they're face value. They didn't have any markup pricings on them, which our shop sometimes does for like variant covers and whatnot. But
I recently collected all of the Cape Crusader, so I
mhm.
figured I should let Jordan collect the Dark Knight Detectives. That way, we both have our collection and we can both just share.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's our steps and road to getting a post-crisis Batman.
That's our goal. We want all of post-crisis Batman
Oh, that's an awesome goal.
So
because it feels attainable.
so 1 and 2. Number 3 is way out of print as well, but I think I may just found a listing that's worth it.
Buy it right now. You said it was like $30. That's crazy. Buy it.
It was
Buy it on air. Do it for the fans.
I don't know this
Yeah.
website.
Jess, bully him into buying it. It's like $30.
You totally should if you can get it for that cheap. That thing's way out of print.
So, and then I've already ordered 4 and 5. So,
Oh,
So
well,
that
now you
should.
have to get 3 or you can't read 4 and 5.
I
all
had
right.
all of them. I had all of them for Cape Crusader, but one. And then I finally found an eBay listing for like $30, so I bought it, and it had all the library stickers on it. So I think someone stole it from the Elk County Library.
Let's see. All right, Jake, you do your thing while I put together this.
Yeah, so those are the books that we bought. We also I bought an art print from Howl's Moving Castle, the Studio Ghibli film, but
Oh,
it
I love
was
that movie.
it was. I'll show the art print really fast. It was just super fun to hang out in person.
Let's see, and then I got a Xenomorph print, which it's back there.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
this for my
nice.
wall.
Very nice.
Um, but no, so me and Jordan started the podcast because we used to be coworkers. We worked at Best Buy together. He was my comic book friend. We talked about it all the time. We loved it. And then I got let go. So, and his parents were really strict about COVID. So we weren't able to hang out because of the virus. And I missed at my new job, there was no one to talk about comic books with. So we were like, fuck it, we should just start a podcast. And that way we can, even if no one ever watches, we at least have an hour a week or half an hour a week to talk about comic books together, So
Mhm.
it was really
Yeah,
exciting.
I have nobody to talk to about comics except for online. There's
Yeah.
nobody in my life in growing up in California or living here that I'm really good friends with that I can talk about comics with.
But that's awesome that you found an online community, though. It seems like you're really good friends with everybody.
Yeah, it's worked out well. You guys are lucky you have each other to talk about comics with because my friends aged out around age 14 while I kept going. And I got lucky with the internet that I found friends that were like-minded. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess that's one of my questions then is oftentimes when people have been collecting comics for their whole life, there was a period when they aged out or a period when they took a break. Have you ever taken a break from comics?
Yeah, I did. Right before college, your viewers can tell that I'm an older gentleman. I am. I went to college back in the 70s. So right around 76, in high school, the latter part of the Bronze Age, or maybe the middle of the Bronze Age, I guess. I was just reading, and I specifically remember Justice League at that time was just not doing it for me. I thought, I am 17 years old and I am reading this superhero stuff. It says nothing to me. And so I gave it up 1976, and I didn't pick up another book until Dark Knight Returns around 85. And that and Watchmen are the two books that got me back into comic books, and I've been reading them straight through ever since.
Wow, what a book to come back to.
Well, yeah, it took Dark Knight Returns to bring me back to comic books, and
then Dark Knight Strikes Again to make you leave.
That is a separate story. I'll finish the first story before I tell you about Dark Knight Strikes Again. Comic books finally, I guess, grew up and got it really interesting to me in that time period, of course, with Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns, and then came Batman Year One. And it wasn't long after that until Sandman and Hellblazer came out, and which I will fully admit I pulled off the newsstand because the covers were so interesting, and then I got lucky because the books were really good. And I dabbled in Batman and Superman a little bit back then, but those were the two big books that got me back into it. And I haven't, I don't remember. I didn't read a whole lot. I feel like during the 90s of some of those, a lot of the first Image books. I read a lot of Image now, but I didn't read a lot of those first Image Wildstorm type books back then, and now I'm catching up and reading Wildstorm now. But I think Dark Knight Strikes Again, if I recall correctly, came out around the year 2000 or so. 2000.
I think it was 2001, right, Jordan?
2001. And the entire comic book community, I don't remember being online for comic books. I think I was still on AOL at that time, and maybe I was more into looking for stock marketed interesting stuff than comic book stuff. But I know everybody, based on the LCSs that I went to, couldn't wait for Strikes Again, because you had Batman Year One, you had Dark Knight Returns, and then
this is pre All-Star Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder, so people didn't know what to expect.
And I think that also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Sin City had already started at that point. So, and Sin City was great, and so now I can't remember if 300 had come out yet or not. I grabbed my copy, but I don't know where it is right now. But Frank Miller was on like this huge tear where everything he had written was amazing. Yeah. And everyone was so excited to get Strikes Again. And the first issue was like, oh, okay, maybe it'll get better in the second issue. I'm just not following it. I blamed myself. I was like, okay, I'm not getting it. He's going for something that I'm not getting. It was clear by issue 2 this was going to be a different book. And then by the time I collected the whole thing, I was like, this is the worst book I've ever read. It's awful. What happened? I don't get it.
I completely agree. Our very first episode was I had never read Dark Knight Returns before. It's one of those ones where when someone tells you something is as amazing as it is over and over again, like I kind of like, I can't be that good. Like The Godfather. It's like, I feel like it's like The Godfather. I didn't watch The Godfather for years because everyone said it was the best movie ever. Then I watched it and I was like, holy crap, this is an amazing movie. So Dark Knight Returns, Jordan Lee Bar, The Absolute. And I remember reading it and being like, oh my God, this is so much better than the animated movie. And the animated movie is still phenomenal. But it was phenomenal. I loved it. And I was like, Jordan, like the book's almost over, that there's still like a lot left in The Absolute. And Jordan's like, just you wait, man. Just you gotta read the next. It's like that's the sequel, and you have to read it, and
you have to read it so you can understand part 3.
So I read Dark Knight Returns and Dark Knight Strikes Again back to back for the first time, and I went from like the heights and like the pinnacle of the mountain of comics to like not only is the story atrocious, it is the worst art I have ever seen in comic book. My friend gave me a book yesterday. It's called Shitty Watchmen as like a joke, and it's like someone redrew Watchmen as like stick figures, and like, that's the whole book. It's just Watchmen as stick figures, and that art is better than Dark Knight Strikes Again. It's I'm gonna use your word, man. It's the most garish coloring I've ever seen. Like
It's
It
rough.
is. It missed on every single thing it could possibly miss on.
Mhm.
It was such a huge disappointment, and I mean, I don't think he's. For me, he hasn't recovered. I don't. I don't. I have heard so many poor that I collected All Star Batman and Robin and floppies, and because of I figured, well, at least it's Jim Lee art, and then it was a ridiculous story that never got finished.
yeah, let's feed Robin rats and beat up Green Lantern with paint.
Yeah, and I'm the goddamn Batman. You retard. He calls him a retard. Don't you get it? Or God damn it, or something.
He's like, "Are you dense, boy? Are you retarded?" Or something like that.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what happened? What I don't understand. What?
Oh my goodness.
How do you write the pinnacle of the character and then also like completely miss the mark?
I don't know. I prefer just to concentrate on Dark Knight Returns because up until that point, it really was. I picked a good time to leave comics because I don't think I look back on the early 80s and the late 70s. I was a DC guy then. I read everything now. I'm catching up on a lot of Marvel stuff, but there really wasn't very much interesting being written. It was really just not very interesting. It was like kid stuff almost. And that Dark Knight Returns was such a powerful, amazing story that completely changed comics that I can't overstate how much of a big deal it was back then. I mean, the LA Times had a huge front page article on it. It was below the fold. It wasn't above the fold, but it was the front page about how different Batman was. And that's how I found out about it. I was living in LA at the time and I went right to buy it. And I mean, it definitely changed the direction comics were headed in forever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Also, just to interject real quick, I have purchased the book for $42. So by next week, we'll know if it's legit or not.
Where did you get it from?
Bigbooks.com. Yeah, I don't know.
Was it used or new?
It's used, but I'll live with it if it comes in decent condition.
There we go. I've never bought anything off that website. We'll send you an email, Jess, so you don't have to worry about Jordan's book or not.
Yeah.
I want to buy. Yeah, I'm invested in this, and I want to know how it is.
We'll let you know how.
We'll send you an Instagram photo of the quality of his book.
Okay, good.
It can't be any worse than mine that has the library sticker still on it that I don't know how to take off.
Listen,
that is so annoying.
I'll be happy if mine just comes with the library sticker on it. If it's damaged, you'll see next week. But yeah,
okay, I want to find out.
And then Jess, I watched your buy or pass video on the Dark Knight Returns Absolute, and as much as you said to pass on it because it has Strikes Again in it, I had to purchase the Absolute, man. It's one of my favorite comics that I needed.
As long as you only read the first half of it, you're set.
He made me read both. He didn't warn me. What a bad friend.
I don't think he's really your friend. If
he's not.
God.
Our friendship consists of us bullying each other into buying things.
That I have a good friend, Tyler Blunt. He and I bully each other into buying toys all the time.
Yes.
We love Tyler, man. That was gonna be one of the questions we asked later, but that's a good segue. Like, how did you first meet Tyler and Omar? Like, how did you get connected with those guys?
Yeah, it was through the Omnibus Collectors Group, a Facebook group. I used to follow Riley on Tumblr back in 2014, and he was I mean, this is how long ago it was. I don't even know if Tumblr's still a thing, but I would follow him.
Yeah, I think it went away when they got rid of the porn.
Oh, well, he would write about complete editions, and he'd map out X-Men things, and he'd he'd talk about omnis, omnibuses, and
Mm-hmm.
what he liked and what he recommended and what he thought were good reads. And so I started following him. And then in 2015, he started a Facebook page about collected editions. And the primary reason it was founded was to help each other find out of print books and not have to pay an arm and a leg that people were charging on eBay and Amazon. So the rule was no books over cover price. And I found myself going there not only to find books, but to gain knowledge. There were lots of knowledgeable people that knew a lot about comics. And so I learned, not only did I learn a lot there, but I started to really enjoy going out and finding out of print books for people. You know, they put their want list out. And I would enjoy taking my time back in 2015, 2016, haunting comic stores and finding the books for people. And that's how I got the name Omnidog, because this is my avatar, my first dog, Archie.
Oh,
He's my avatar for everything on social media. And they started calling me Omnidog there. And that's where I met. That's actually where I met everybody. That's where I met Tyler. That's where I met Taylor Brown, who does Saturdays in the Batcave with me. Omar, that's where I met him. And the Omni Bros, that's where I met all of them. And Riley is an Omni Bro. So
and did that predate the channel, your YouTube channel?
Yeah. I don't think I started my channel until the latter part of 2017. And that was after I joined Omni Bros, which was Lou, Comics Guide 101, and Riley, the Omnibus Collector. Those are their YouTube names and their social media names, I guess. With the three of us became the Omni Bros, and it grew from there. And I just thought, maybe people would be interested if I did a channel. My first goal was to get like 10 people. So when I put out my first video and I got like more than 10 people subscribing, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. There are 10 people out there that want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
So I've always felt blessed when I get a single fan that'll write me and say, I bought this book because of you and I really liked it. That is, to me, the best feeling, because that means that I helped somebody. Like, I helped somebody find a good book, and I can also steer people away from books that aren't so good. So getting back to the Facebook page, I'm not a member there anymore because I was an admin there, and I got to be so connected I was such a face of the group. Like when they thought of the Omnibus Collectors Community Swap, the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community was the name of it. People felt like I was the only admin. There were like 10 other admins, but everybody thought I was the only admin, and I couldn't take any of the responsibility anymore. So I just had to leave finally. And nothing against Riley, I'm still good friends with him, but it was just too much. I was just like, people were constantly bombarding me with all these things that were going wrong. And I'm like, I'm just an admin here on Facebook. I can't help you. I can't do, I can't speed up your order from some comic book company. I can't do, they thought I was omnipotent, and I wasn't. So
wait, you're not omnipotent? Jordan, we need to find a
yeah,
he's an omnidog, not omnipotent.
Right. So I had to leave there just for my own peace of mind, and I hope everything's going well in the group because I had a lot of fun there. But that's where I struck up a friendship with Omar and with Tyler, and Tyler and I are really good friends now, and same with Taylor. And Tyler and I are going to do He likes to do unbox and chill, where we open toys on the air and just hang out. We're going to do another one of those today, but I talk to Tyler all the time on the phone, and Omar and I are in constant touch. He of course, he's super busy now that now that Near Mint is such a big hit, and he's got, and it's great because he's the exact person. Marvel picked the exact perfect person to bounce ideas off of and become their public voice, because he knows and retains everything that he reads, and he is the perfect person for that. So I'm super happy for all his success.
This is in stark contrast to what Omar said about you on our interview.
I actually believe that, because he and I are constantly trading barbs.
His exact quote was, Jess likes to act like a kindly grandfather figure, but he's a pervy old man.
Yeah, that's 100%.
That son of a bitch.
He never, yeah, I know.
Take everything back.
I know. I asked him about the story of when you were, I think you guys were doing an interview with the girl from In Stock Trades, and you were showing off like somebody, like I think your big titty books. You didn't know her mom was in the chat.
Yes.
Oh, that's Emily's mom. Yeah, it was Emily from In Stock Trades. Yeah, there are several good Jess stories from the Omni Bros shows. What, it gets blown out of proportion, but Omar and I think Gabe were on. After we interviewed Emily, she left, but her mom stayed in the chat. And it came time to show our hauls, and I had a book that I had kickstarted that I thought the art looked nice, but when I opened it, it was clearly R plus, practically X rated. So I'm going through it, trying to show something. I'm like, I can't show you that. I can't show you that. And poor Emily's mom is still in the chat. And those two guys are laughing their asses off, trying to go, Jess, stop. And I'm not showing anything, but I had the book, and I kept going, no, I can't show you that. I can't show you that. And so it became a whole thing about Emily's mom in the chat. So there's anytime I have some art book, as I call them, art books, I always make sure Emily's mom is not in the chat.
It's funny that's Omar's first story of you, Omnidog. It's the first one he goes to.
So yeah, so let's get some revenge on him, man. How about you tell us your side of the story of why he's banned from your basement?
Yes, please do.
Okay. He is banned from my basement. He doesn't believe it, by the way, but he is. His wife is welcome. His wife is a lovely person. He and I did an Omni Bros Live. They came up for Baltimore. He and his wife, Melanie, came up to visit 2019 in October. And he had visited in 2018 for Baltimore by himself. Perfect guest. We sat in the basement. We listened to music. We read comic books. It was like, great. I have a friend I can read comic books with. He came in here, and he is a button pusher. I give him that. He is the king of button pushers. He knew how to start, and he had gotten comfortable enough with me that he knew how to start pushing my buttons. And the Omni Bros show that we did with the two of us on camera here in the room was so full of tension. I was ready to strangle him. He just kept touching my stuff. He would like, and first of all, when you're a collector like I am, surrounded by all this stuff, I don't want anyone touching it. Nobody touches my stuff. It's just a thing. Like in the movie Stripes, if you've ever seen that, there's a guy in there who says, you touch my stuff, I'll kill you. I'm not going to kill anybody, but I don't want anybody touching my stuff. And so he kept going to pull figures down and take pictures of them, saying they were for his channel. And I was like, you're not going to use these for your channel. And he kept messing with stuff until he finally went out into the other part of the room where I keep my albums. And he goes, what's this album? And he picked it up, and it had like 4 albums in it, because I collect vinyl too. And the albums all shot out, and hit a bunch of really rare Blackest Night and Brightest Day figures and knocked them over. And I was like, that's it. You're going to bed now. Get out of the basement and go to bed.
Did he have had like too many cranberry whiskeys or?
I don't think he was. We had just taken him out to dinner. I don't think he was that drunk. He was just having fun, messing with me. He was pulling stuff out of my display cabinets. He was like, "Hey, Superman's hand's broken," and I'm like, "Omar, don't touch anything anymore." The whole night of that, and I'm like, "That's it. You're not coming back." He doesn't believe it, but he's not coming back. He's still my friend. I love that guy, but he is never coming back to my house. His wife.
There we go. That's Omar, the truth right there.
No.
Yeah. Listen, Jake is the button pusher in this friendship, 100%.
100%.
So I get it. You and me, Omni, we 100% get each other right now.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm talking about then.
Oh yeah. There are things where Jake will take a little bit from a story and make sure that I never forget that bit.
I don't know what you're talking about. I will instigate fights with him and his girlfriend sometimes, like, because if his girlfriend gets a little mad at him, I'll be on his girlfriend's side and I'm like, come on, Jordan, what are you doing?
Yeah. Are you saying she's not right? And I'm going, yes, I'm saying she's right. I'm not saying you're right.
But there we go. I wanted the real drama. You're over here saying all these nice things about Omar. I'm like, nah, we got to get the dirt.
Oh yeah, no. When he just came and just pushed my buttons to the limit. I've had other people in here. They come in, they look at it, they go, "Hey, this is really nice. I like it," and they walk out. He was touching everything, man. It drove me nuts.
Oh well, Jess, I hope if for some reason we're ever in Virginia, you would welcome us to see your basement, just so we could see the amazingness of it.
You're welcome as long as you don't touch anything. I'm happy to show it to you.
You have like a pinball machine, right? Am I at least allowed to play pinball, or is that also no touch?
Oh yeah, no. I'm having it repaired today, as a matter of fact, in an hour. So yeah, you're welcome to play pinball. The things that are meant to be played with, you can play with. I'll put on music for you. We can sit down, we can read, we can watch TV, you can play the jukebox, we can play pinball. Just don't pull my figures out of the display cabinet where I have them displayed perfectly.
Okay, that's a good segue for our next question. Probably gonna be hard for you to answer, but gun to your head, what's your favorite figure or statue? Like what's something that you're incredibly proud of? Because I only have one figure. And
action figure or statue?
Like statue or figure, whichever one you want. Like what is like one that you're most proud of?
Most proud of. I'm pretty. As far as statues go, I have a lot of the bombshells, almost all of them. So I do love all the bombshells, but I think, and I'll have to lift the computer up and show you. Let me make sure I don't trip and kill myself. I think my Gwen Stacy sideshow statue from J. Scott Campbell is my favorite. It used to be behind me, but I traded my Hot Toys here.
I feel bad. I didn't mean to make you get up. I'm sorry.
Oh no, they're right here. It's fine.
Okay.
I do it all the time. I'm not that old.
I know, Jake. Damn.
Jeez, what's wrong with you?
He's our guest. I want him to relax.
So wow. It would be Gwen right here.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
She's really delicate. Her umbrella is very delicate. And then there's Black Cat and Mary Jane. But I also just got this Harley that I'm really happy with from Sideshow. But I still feel like
that Lady Thor is pretty nice too.
Yeah, actually, I'll show you everything up here. There's Lady Thor.
Oh, the old OG Frost. Harley. That OG Harley is great.
Yeah, the tweeter head one.
Wow, that's an extensive collection.
And wait, Jordan, are you saying you haven't watched Jess's 4 or 5 part video of his collection?
Listen, I'm on part 205.
Watch his collection playlist.
I do. Yeah, it's probably I do have a statue. I do have a 2-part statue video up. But it's probably time for me to update it for statues.
Well, most definitely, because I've always been an admirer of the statues you have in the background, Jess.
Oh, well,
See,
thanks. Yeah, I
see.
love the bombshells. They're awesome.
I'll show you my one statue. I bought my first statue last month, and I
cool.
never thought I'd buy one, but then I found one I fell in love with.
That's the key.
Let's see. It's his favorite one. I remember he sent me photos asking if he should buy it. Here we go.
So it's like Batman with the whole Bat family.
Oh, that's cool. Where did you get that?
They still have it on sale for like $199. I can Instagram you a link. Someone literally just asked me yesterday, but it was from let me see right now what website it was from.
It's adorable with the little
I can't get it
chibis.
because there's no men allowed in my collection.
BigBadToyStore.com.
Oh yeah, I get
But-
tons of stuff from Big Bad Toy Store, and I'll
I'm
show
just
you
in
my
love-
favorite
I'm
action
in love
figure.
with the whole Bat family. So I just something where he was actually being like a parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I really liked it.
let me show you my favorite figure, and that is still. I do collect a lot of action figures, that's for sure, and it's still silk because of this face sculpt is so amazing to me of silk. I have a ton. Marvel does a great job, or Hasbro does a great job on their faces, and I mean this face sculpt to me is just remarkable.
There's so much detail.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I mean the eyes are just beautiful. The nose and mouth, they're perfectly formed. These are for a 6-inch action figure, that's a lot of details. So she's my favorite action figure.
Most definitely. That's awesome. The
Oh,
action
thanks.
figures I have are, I mean, I have a Batman animated adventure figure, and then
Oh.
and then one from the Arkham games, and besides that, Xenomorph. I'm a big Aliens fan, so
Oh, cool.
He finally got his Aliens omnibus that he did not order from in-stock trades. I'm a big in-stock trades customer.
I order from cheap graphic novels, so
That's wherever you can get it that you're happy with. I think that's fine.
It took 16 weeks, and I don't think it was
no,
that long.
it took 6 weeks, 7 weeks to get it in.
In-stock trades would have been like 5 weeks, so it would have been faster.
Listen, at least Omar kind of explained that he found out that it was oversold, so they had to wait to receive another shipment of them.
Yeah, he knows that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you transition from single issues to collected editions?
Probably around 2014. I think Riley is the one that got me into. There were 3 YouTubers that I watched at the time. One was Lou. Back then, I can't remember what his name was. I don't think it was Comics Guide 101. But I watched Lou, and then for collected editions, I watched Riley and another guy that I don't think makes some YouTube videos anymore. But he had just graduated from Cal, and he had a very nice omnibus collection. And looking at those and all the space that my floppies were taking up, I thought, you get a lot of comics for, if you can find them for a good price, these omnibus, these omnis, or collected editions in general, and they read better to me than floppies.
And there's no ads in them, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, yeah,
there's no ads.
Right. And the story flows better to me in a collected edition. So it was about 2014, and that's probably 2014, 2015 is when I sold my comic book collection. The bulk of it. I kept the really good stuff, like my Spider-Man books from the 60s, anything that was highly collectible that I could put in a safe deposit box or something. But the modern comics, I did let go of Sandman 1, and I'm sort of regretting that now.
Oh,
It was like a whole run of Sandman and a whole run of Hellblazer and all this
Wow.
stuff. I got good money because I had a huge collection, and I got good money for it, and it helped seed buying other stuff. But every collector, once you get to be a certain age, is going to have regrets, and that's that's kind of my regret, that I sold my Sandman one for not the $9,000 that it's going to be worth.
I just finished reading Sandman a couple of weeks ago.
What did you think of it?
I loved it. So I went the absolute route for Sandman. So it took me longer than I wanted to finish the collection. I actually, before the comic book shop yesterday, my most recent purchase was Sandman 5. That was the last one I needed. So I still have to read number 5, which is like, I guess like side stories, but I've read Overture, I read Death, and I read 1 through 4, and I loved it. Jordan's reading it right now. He just got the 3 omnibuses because I bullied him into it.
It's yeah, it's my current read right now, and definitely it's worth reading, and it's worth owning in either omnibus or absolute, just because it is some of the best looking ones on my shelf.
Yeah.
The problem I'm running into now is if you see the center square on my bookshelf over there that has all Sandman in it, right? But now that I have the fifth volume, and Overture and Death, they all don't fit in the same box anymore.
I hate that.
And I'm like kind of regretting buying Death, because like Death has like the spinoff story, which is nice, and I love her character, but it also reprints 2 of the stories that are already in Sandman 1. So, but
See,
it's
but
it's okay.
You need it for the collection. Now you could say you own all of it in absolute.
Overture has the best art I've ever seen in a comic book. I was blown away with Overture. The J.H. Williams art was my favorite art I've seen in a comic book.
It's amazing.
I'm excited to get to there.
Yeah, that's at the very end.
I'm over halfway through the first Omni. I got another 2/3 to read.
Yeah, that's another book that I think changed comics for the better. I mean, it leveled up again after Dark Knight Returns. Then Sandman like leveled it up again. I think
I was blown away. I'm excited for the Netflix show. I think it's going to be really good. That's the thing I don't get is like people are upset about the casting choices, but the whole thing is that they're like personification of ideas, and they look like a mirror to who's ever looking at them. So Death can be whatever race she wants to be. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with it. But people are always going to outrage and pitchfork.
I'm a big believer in wait until the product comes out and watch it. And if you enjoy it, that's great. And if not, well, okay, you gave it a shot. But I'm never going to criticize casting choices. I don't. It doesn't bother me. It's comic books and being turned into entertainment. We're lucky we're getting these things. Because when I was 12 years old, we had Jack Diddley Wah. I had the animated adventures of Superman and
hey, those Max Fletcher cartoons were beautiful though. I think they still hold up, the Max Fletcher Superman cartoon.
Oh yeah. But well, wait, that's way before
I know. I'm not saying you're that. I don't know. I just
Jake.
I'm literally just, that's a beautiful Superman cartoon.
It is. Yeah. Max Fleischer's are really beautiful. They are. But I mean, I had the Archies and Scooby-Doo, and I didn't have anything like these guys have now. And for somebody to come out and criticize anything in the MCU or anything, or any of these Disney Plus shows or anything, just be glad you're getting them. We're so lucky we're getting any of this stuff. There is too much to watch on television of this kind of stuff. I haven't even gotten to The Boys yet, and I love The Boys. I haven't even got there yet. I have a huge list of stuff that I have to catch up with. We're so lucky.
Have you finished the animated series yet of Batman?
No, I'm close to finishing the first season. The first season was like 800 episodes, it turns out, and I'm almost there. But I need to get back on that. I can see why everybody loved that growing up. It's a step above, a couple of steps above just your regular cartoon. I just got to the point where Barbara Gordon became Batgirl, and so now I'm really invested because she's one of my favorite characters, and I think she's drawn great, and her character is really well done. So I'm I need to finish it, and I know I've been on it for 2 years, but I know I need to get done with it.
I love Paul Dini's writing on that show. My gripe, I guess, is later on. I feel like, especially in some of the movies, and like the Killing Joke movie, or for instance, like Bruce Timm has this weird obsession with like Batman and Batgirl being like a relationship, and
Yeah.
it creeps me out because like that's like his daughter, like a daughter to him, you know. So
I haven't
I've
seen
always rubbed up,
those.
yeah, I've always rubbed up
Yeah.
against that. So
Mhm.
I like Paul Dini's writing much more than some of Bruce Timm's ideas.
Jake, I was thinking the same exact thing right now. I was just picturing the scene from The Killing Joke.
Yeah, because it's not good. Um,
Listen,
but
the second half of the Killing Joke movie was pretty cool because it was pretty spot on.
yeah,
But yeah,
Bruce Timm's a creep though. But yes, I love his Batgirl.
I haven't seen enough of the DC animated universe. I really want to see as much as I can, and there's a ton of it. So I'm really happy that I have HBO Max that I can watch it all on, and I have a ton of the movies physically too.
I was lucky because when I was a kid, my parents, like the only cable channel we had was Boomerang, which showed older cartoons like from the 70s.
so
So
good.
I grew up on the Super Friends. That was my very first and then when I got older, they added on like the Justice League cartoon, like the Bruce Timm, animated series, all that stuff. So it was so much better. I love Super Friends, but it was also so much more adult and grounded and different than the Super Friends was. There was no Wonder Twins to worry about. So it
We
was
watched those in college. I remember that.
we want to make our intro. We want to have the Meanwhile at the Legion of Doom added into our theme song. So I think we're going to do that soon.
Mhm.
Have you guys watched Harley Quinn?
It's
I
amazing.
love it, dude. They're Clayface. How did they make Clayface the best character?
I don't
It's
know. It is such a great show. I love that show. I love all of that.
yeah, the Harley Quinn show. Jake got me onto it originally, and I've binged it all the way through. It's amazing. It's definitely one of my
It,
favorites.
it is remarkable. Poison Ivy is so great in that. Lake Bell does such a great job deadpanning Poison Ivy.
I also really love Bane. Bane's character, like
Yeah.
they went the Christopher Nolan route with him.
Bane.
But when he's like Arkham is for the criminally incapable, the pit is for the criminally capable, or whatever. Like the pit episode is like my all-time favorite. He's just trying to run like a good prison.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that show.
Ba-
I can't believe Disney. I can't believe DC let that show happen. It's so great.
I mean, they didn't let all of that show happen.
I was gonna
Right.
say the current controversy.
Yeah, that's funny to me that that's a controversy, but I I just think that's a fun. We're at a funny point in time where that's actually a controversy. It just cracks me up
Hmm.
that actually could happen.
Jake, what was the meme that DC Animated posted?
Oh my god. Okay, so DC Animated tweeted a 30-second clip from the movie Into the Under the Red Hood. Have you seen it?
No.
So it's basically Red Hood is holding a gun to the Joker, and he's asking Batman why he never killed. And it's a 30-second clip out of context of Batman saying, "If I allow myself to go down in that place, I'll never return." And
Does
I'm like, someone
DC
from
let the-
DC Animated tweeted that themselves with no explanation in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can never go down to that place. I'll never return.
That's
And
awesome.
I'm like, someone either got fired or promoted for that tweet.
Yes. Amazing.
That is amazing.
Uh-huh.
Jordan, are you able to pull up the photo I emailed you?
Which one?
The one on my bookshelf?
Oh, yeah, I can pull that up right now.
Just a fun question for me. Like, I don't think the fans will fucking care, but I care. Can you look at my bookshelf and tell me what DC book I'm missing?
Sure.
You really inspired me the other day to try to buy that Mad Men Library Edition #1 when it comes out.
Oh yeah.
Because I was gonna buy it, before the podcast to show you that I actually do watch your videos and listen to you, but
Thank you.
it said pre-order, so I was like, okay, I'll wait.
I've been reading it for a while now. It's so great. I love it. It's mad it's madcap and zany, but it's also super philosophical. And I just love the juxtaposition of his using a yo-yo and a plastic dart gun, not a disc gun, as weapons, and and he's also constantly questioning his existence and the meaning of life. And I just love that.
I guess just a random philosophical question is, do you have any opinions or thoughts or feelings that your number one video is a negative review?
Oh, the Neil Adams one.
Yeah, because like I think it's a great video. And I started using the word garish after I watched it.
That
But
is my.
yeah,
I don't want to miss talking about your bookcase.
yeah, I
Though.
figured I just wanted to give Jordan time to pull it up so we could talk about this in the
Okay.
meantime.
Yeah, I'm struggling right here, so you guys are good.
Okay, that's fine. I try and promote positivity and being upbeat on my channel. So it is sort of ironic that the one video I put out that's negative is the one that's been watched the most. But I felt so passionately that a disservice was done to an iconic run in comics, because that was another place where comics leveled up, was when Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams got together and changed Batman. Batman was, when I first started reading Batman when I was really little, it was always Batman in space, and then became Batman 66, as they're calling it. Batman just fighting the Grasshopper Gang and things like that. And then Neil Adams comes along, and Batman not only actually looked like a real person, but he looked like a dark and dangerous person. And Neil Adams' art was astonishing and like a breath of fresh air, and just amazing for the time period. It was just remarkable what he could do. And for him to go back and redo, like re-ink and recolor it was just the bastardization of what was so great back then. You can't tell reading the book now, the Batman Omnibus by Neil Adams, you can't tell now what an impact it had back then in the late 60s and early 70s to do those Batman stories, because you need to compare the art from the 60s to what he started doing and his original stuff, which was amazing. And by going over it and re-inking it and making those garish color choices, it really ruins the impact of what was done back then and how he changed the industry, and why he became so popular. Looking at that book, I felt outraged at it, and I was just really angry. And that's why I made that video. That was one of my first videos, because the I don't even have the camera at eye level. I had it down below me, and I had it set at bad definition, like super low definition. It's a terribly shot video. But I was angry, and I didn't want anybody else to think that this was the goods, because it wasn't. We're gonna have to wait till the Silver Age and Bronze Age Batman omnis come out from DC to see how good Neil Adams really was, because that book doesn't show it.
Yeah, you go, Jordan.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I got the picture pulled up, but yeah, I always wanted your thoughts on the video.
Yeah, and I know negativity sells on the internet, and people love to complain.
I think passion sells, though. I think at the end of the day, passion is what we're into, and you were at least passionate about it.
Yeah, and I explained my position. I have not on the video. I have nothing against him. I just wish it had just been left alone so everybody could just see how great it was. But it is what it is, and I don't know. You search the video now, and that video pops up, which is funny to me that it pops up now. If you search Neil Adams Batman Omnibus on Google, like I'm one of the top picks for it because it's gotten so many views. But I just wish everybody could see what I saw, because they can't. It's like what George Lucas did to Star Wars. It's like you guys have never really seen the real Star Wars yet, because of what he did, how all the things he changed. You never see until somehow you can see the despecialized copies. You won't see how great it was, and that's what Neil Adams did to Batman.
Do you feel that way about all coloring? Like, do you have the same gripes with like Swamp Thing or Sandman?
I think that's a kind of personal thing. Some people may like the coloring in Swamp Thing. I personally didn't, so I kept my originals. But some people like it, and that's a personal choice. That's fine with me. Sandman, I didn't mind it. Again, that's a personal choice. But the coloring, and I know Walt Simonson's Thor got recolored to the better, and I know that Conan is getting back to the original colors after the Dark Horse. I think Dark Horse recolored them in a bad way, and Marvel's taking them back to the colors I think they were. So I appreciate that. But Neil Adams is like the outlier here.
Yeah,
it was like way out there. Like, whoa, what are those colors? Do they even exist in nature? They're not real colors. They're just like blindingly ugly.
What did you think of the Killing Joke that got recolored for the deluxe edition?
I never read it because reading Killing Joke, I don't think that story's aged well for me personally. And that's not a knock on anybody that likes it. It's just that I don't find that story to be enjoyable anymore. So I still have the original like paperback that I go to if I want to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fridging is definitely a tired trope.
Yeah, I don't, it just doesn't appeal. It didn't age well for me personally. No aspersions on anybody that likes it, peace and love. If you like it, you like it. That's great. But for me, I didn't, it just doesn't do it for me anymore.
Okay. Let's go back to my bookshelf now. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
I got to line it up nicely. Okay.
I just moved in back after a flood, so I haven't organized them in a proper order yet. So I literally just threw on my bookshelf
Okay. Let me see if I can.
Can you pen, or Jordan? Can you talk so that you're the big screen?
Can I talk?
Yeah, if you talk, it's on. I don't know.
Oh, you mean for like?
Yeah, if you could make yourself as big as we are over here.
Give me one moment. Let me give it a shot.
I see a lot of good Batman. That's good.
Here, let me.
I told you I want all the post-crisis Batman, and DC does not make it easy.
You don't. Do you have Jeff Johns' Justice League?
That's the new 52 one that just came out.
Yeah.
No, I have not bought that yet, but I really want to.
Okay, that's the first thing that I see that's missing. So your Batman shelf looks really good. Did you get? Do you have Rebirth Superman in omnibus form?
Yes. It's if you scroll down, I have it with Batman and Robin and Super Sons because the three of them look perfect next to each other.
Okay. So you got a lot of Sandman. You got JSA. That's good. There's a third volume of JSA you need.
I do have it. I watched one of your videos once when you were listing things that were going in and out of print, and I bought all 3 JSAs, and I was like, shoot, I spent a little too much money. So my friend was like, just give it to me and I'll give it to you as a Christmas gift. And I was like, okay.
Oh. Whoops.
Let's see.
Okay, there's Super Sons. Good. That Superman book's good.
I love Superman. So New 52 was I was in high school and I couldn't afford to read everything. Rebirth was when I was an adult. I had adult money, so I own most of Rebirth in single issues and trades.
Seven Soldiers is good. Let's see. Did I see Animal Man up top?
I have Animal Man in deluxe editions because the omnibus is out of print.
Okay.
And I have the New 52 omnibus. I love Animal Man. It's one of my absolute favorites.
So you have Grant Morrison's and Lemire's?
Yes, I have because they came out with the two deluxe editions, which I'm trying to get Jordan to read. Grant Morrison, because Grant Morrison's my favorite. Grant Morrison and Tom King are my 2 favorite writers. Grant Morrison's Animal Man is like my all-time favorite.
Oh, well, you get along great with Riley. That's his favorite book too. Let's
I
see.
love anything that's like can be meta.
Yeah. Let's see. I liked, let's see, Final Crisis, Infinite Crisis, 52. I do you have iZombie?
Jordan has it. I
I
don't
have
have
a
it.
zombie.
He lords it over me.
iZombie, Superman, Batman. I think. Do you have Superman, Batman by
By Loeb or
Globe? Yeah,
I don't. Is it good?
it is good. Yeah. Um,
It has the
that's
return of Supergirl.
right. Yeah, I would recommend that one. Um, while I'm looking at yours, I'm just looking over at stuff that I have. Um, do you have Why the Last Man or
I don't. I've been meaning to pick up Why the Last Man.
and Ex Machina?
So I'm gonna write these down. Ex Machina, Why
Okay.
the Last Man,
Yeah,
Batman, Superman.
you should. Oh, I did see New Frontier. That's good.
Yes,
Uh,
I actually am loaning it out to a friend, but New Frontier, All Star Superman, and Kingdom Come are my three favorite absolutes.
oh yeah, that reminds me. Do you have Justice?
No, I don't.
Okay, you have to
That's
have
the other Alex
Justice.
Rest, right?
That
Is
Team-
that
yeah,
this? Did they
yeah.
renamed it, right? Is Justice the old name or the new name?
It's still Justice. I have Absolute Justice, but I think it's in a deluxe now.
Okay. So
Um,
Justice by the Last Man, Ex Machina,
Paul
iZombie.
Kroger, I think it is Kroger wrote it, and he wrote it great. Or no, Jim Kroger. I always say Paul. I don't know why. It's Jim Kroger. Um, I would urge you to get Fables. They're coming out in compendiums now.
Yep.
Okay.
I've always been interested in getting Fables ever
I
since I
played
was a
the
teenager.
I played the video game of Fables and I liked it a lot.
Was that the Bigby Wolf one? A
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, I need to play that. Let's see. Do you have Sweet Tooth?
No, but I want to because the show was so good. I know it's very different than the show, but I was
The
in
book's
love
even
with the
better.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Sweet Tooth will probably
has to be
I'll get Sweet Tooth next.
Sweet Tooth needs to be gotten.
That's in like a
first.
compendium, right? Or it's probably I'm assuming there's an
I
omnibus or
think
something.
so.
They have trades and they have hardcovers.
I
I
have it
have
in
to get the
deluxe,
hardcovers.
but I don't. Whatever form you can get it in, you need to get it.
Okay. Sweet Tooth was
Um,
super good.
And
Uh,
then, so Jake, don't forget, you have to also send Omnidog like $50 because he just gave you the best tips.
Yes.
I don't charge for that, but I should have you be my agent. I should charge for it.
Hey,
Mhm.
can
You
you
have
okay,
Day
I know
Tripper?
Day Tripper, no, I'll write that down as well.
I was
That's
just
just
telling
something
Jake about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
yesterday.
can you make I know you don't want to make t-shirts, but can you make 2 t-shirts for me and Jordan? Like we
Just-
will happily buy.
just 2.
We'll send you the money, just 2 for me and him.
What do you want on them?
Oh, it can be whatever you want. It can be like a root beer bottle with your logo on it, with your mask on it. It can just say
like
Omnidog.
this, something?
I will literally buy
Sure.
that t-shirt. I will send you the money right now for that t-shirt.
I,
I was
100%.
trying to get you to make t-shirts on one of your streams the other day. I think you guys were talking about like breakfast cereal. And and I know you said you didn't want to make t-shirts because you said it would kill you if they didn't sell, but dude, you sell yourself short, man. You have fans.
Mhm.
Oh, well, thank you. It would kill me if they didn't sell, but I'll find out from Melanie. Melanie knows how
She has the
Omar's
spread.
wife.
She has the spread shop.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get a couple shirts made, and you guys will be the only 2 that ever have them.
Okay, that'll be awesome.
I won't even
because,
get one for myself.
I'm sure she'd buy a shirt too, though.
She might. She's a good fan of mine. She's a very nice, wonderful person. American Vampire. You need
American
to get
Vampire?
that.
Okay.
By Scott Snyder.
You could also send Tyler a shirt to wear. I know he'd do it for his streams.
Let's see.
This is awesome. I love this, man. This is like, I mean, I want to interview you, but I also just wanted to get tips from you, man, because you know so much.
Well, now are you a fan of Harley Quinn at all?
I am. I just don't personally own anything of hers. I feel so sexist. I don't own any Wonder Woman. I don't own any Harley Quinn. Like, I don't own any like Birds of Prey. I don't know what that's going on with me, man.
He's been lacking.
I've literally just been buying Batman and Superman. I'm so boring.
Well, the run that turned me into the huge Harley Quinn fan I am, it was the Palmiotti Connor run. So that's the new 52 first omnibus. So I would get that, and if you like that, then there's two more omnis. There's another new 52, and then there's a rebirth omni by Connor and Palmiotti. They are so good and just so fun. I love them. They're the ones responsible for my love for Harley Quinn, those books. So I would stay away from anything Suicide Squad. Except for Tom Taylor's Suicide Squad.
Oh, the new one, the most recent one, right?
That's great.
Dude, how good of a writer is Tom Taylor? Have you read any of his Nightwing run? His Nightwing run is the best thing I've read in comics in forever. It is so good.
Has that been collected?
No, it hasn't been a trade yet, but it's just in single issues. It's one of the only series I'm still reading in single issues.
Oh, he wrote a Hellblazer that was great just now. His Deceased is awesome.
I've been a big fan of Deceased. I've been looking for the hardcover.
He's also taking over Superman next.
That is the best news ever. All New Wolverine was great. One of my favorite books of all time. I love All New Wolverine.
There's this running joke on Twitter where people like, so I'll do it all the time. I'll tweet at Tom King and be like, I love your Suicide Squad run. Or I'll tweet at like, at the other one and be like, I love your Batman. I love your Batman run. Or I love your Mr. Miracle. And like, the joke is that like people mix them up.
I think that's a good list for me to give you now. I mean, there's still things like Preacher and Scalped.
Preacher Absolute was the next one I was going to purchase because I just got my I got a text. I woke up to an email from you saying we did the interview, and I woke up to an email from financial aid being like, "Hey, like you're going to get your financial aid deposit in a few days," and I was like, "That sounds like comic books."
Jess, I just wanted to ask you because I know you said stay away from Suicide Squad except for Tom Taylor's, but what you think of the New 52 Suicide Squad?
I made myself enjoy it because I thought the New 52 one was better than the Rebirth one. I enjoyed it because of Harley Quinn in it. I don't know that I would recommend it to other people, but I liked it.
I thought it was pretty good. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I didn't know anybody else out there liked it. That's good.
It had a very fun dynamic. Yeah.
The funny thing is that Suicide Squad Rebirth and Justice League Rebirth are two terrible books.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did not like Justice League Rebirth.
But Suicide Squad versus Justice League is a great book where they're both together in one deluxe volume. That book is great, but the other books are not so great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny on your DC Rebirth by your past one. You were going over the Suicide Squad, and you went, if I was anyone else, I would pass, but for myself, I'd buy because it has Harley Quinn in it. And I was like, I get it.
I have to make that sort of warning to everybody that I disclaimer. Like it because Harley's in it, but nobody else should like it.
That's why Harley's our background this episode. It's for you, Jess.
I 100% appreciate it. That's a great picture of her too.
Here, just to show off the whole picture real quick.
Who's the artist? You know?
I don't. I got this picture years back, and it's been forever since I've ever looked it up. I'll try to find out, and if I do, I'll put it in the description of the video.
That's a nice drawing.
Most definitely. I could send it over to you, Jess, if you wanted to put it as your background one day.
Oh, totally.
By all
I'd make
means.
that my background on a video. Absolutely.
My personal favorite video of yours, like the one when I became like a massive fan, and I think the one I've rewatched multiple times is buy or like pass on absolutes. Is there, if you could only choose one absolute, do you have a personal favorite absolute? Or if there's one book you could make an absolute, or would you make an absolute?
Ooh, let me answer the first one because that would be absolute Oh hell, they're both right next to each other. Absolute Justice and then Absolute Green Lantern, Green Arrow. I love Justice as a story, so I'm going to say Absolute Justice is my favorite absolute.
Really? I have never read it. Is it really that good? That's
I read it every year. I love it so much because I read so much that I don't. I'm like the opposite of Omar and Riley, where they retain everything.
Mhm.
Anything I read just pushes out old knowledge, and so I can't. I know something's happening in the beginning of Justice, but I can never remember the ending, and so it's like a new book every year, every time I.
Oh, that's an amazing ability though. Like I sometimes I watch a movie or I read a book and I wish I could experience it for the first time.
Oh yeah, it's like I experience it for the first time all the time. Um, a Justice, an absolute. Let's see, that would be a DC book. Um, I'm gonna pick something off the wall and say Jimmy Olsen because I
Okay.
love this book so much. I'm gonna make a video soon of the funniest books.
Is that the
Uh,
more recent Jimmy Olsen one or is that one a lot older?
this is recent. This is brand
Okay,
new.
yeah,
It
yeah,
came
yeah,
out
yeah. It just
earlier
came out
this
like a
year.
yeah, yeah, I remember now. Okay.
Yeah, you usually want it because the art is you want an absolute because you love the art, and the art goes really well with this story. It's Steve Lieber art, and so he's really a really good artist, and so I would love to have his art and Matt Fraction's jokes in absolute form. So I'm going to pick this as it'll never happen, but I'd still love it to happen. I'm going to make a video of books that made me laugh or at least smile for a long time. And this will be like at least one or two in that video because this is a great book.
So
That's
Jake, you
awesome,
know what
man.
that means, right? You and I are gonna have to bombard DC with that book and tell them we want it as an absolute.
Oh,
We're
please
gonna
do.
we'll email Omar because he just uploaded a video today called Top 10 Most Wanted DC Absolutes and tell him to make his number one Who Killed Jimmy Olsen.
Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite is Tom King. Just he did his Superman run Up in the Sky, and it's one of my
Oh,
favorite Superman stories ever. I
yeah,
recently just
great.
I bought like 3 or 4 trades of it and loaned them out to gave them away to friends who have never read comics before to try to get them into comics. And out in that Andy Kubrick art, like I would love Up in the Sky as an absolute.
That is a good choice. Superman Birthright by Mark Wade would be a good one. And same with Superman Secret Identity. Those would both be good absolutes too. Um, yeah, that's great that you give them away to friends. That's really smart.
We've been trying to get our friends into comics. So the reason we went to the comic book shop yesterday was to bring a friend who had never bought a comic book before because I think comics can seem intimidating.
Mhm.
What did Nestor end up buying it? What did we get him yesterday?
Yeah, so we made a impromptu podcast yesterday and we kind of talked about getting our friends
It,
into comics.
it wasn't in case there was another lightning storm. We would still have a video to upload this week.
Yeah. So so we ended up so we did go yesterday and Jake accompanied us and it was fun. Nestor ended up purchasing Venom Volume 1, the Donny Cates run,
Oh, good.
which I know I kind of helped him because he was looking at the floppy, so I was like, let me get you the beginning of it at least. And then we also went with Batman Volume 1, New 52.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Good
so
choices.
Court of Owls. Don't need to know too much about Batman to understand the
Mm-mm.
story. So
Yeah.
most definitely, those are his two intros to comic books, and I think they're pretty good selections.
Yeah,
I
I
was
think so
trying
too. I think you did a good job.
I was trying to selfishly push New Frontier on him because that's my favorite book.
Is what format is it in now? Lux?
I think it was just a paperback of it.
Okay.
But I was like in my head, like I like supporting comic book shops, but I was like, this is $30 for the paperback, $20 more. You can still get the absolute, but
Mhm.
maybe someone's first book shouldn't be an absolute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
Wh-
Yeah, New Frontier is so great.
which was pretty funny yesterday because Nestor finally learned and understood how much comic books can cost,
Oh,
and it brought him new appreciation for mine and Jake's shelves.
mm,
So
yeah.
and
I hope
then
my wife never finds out.
Jake and I were just talking about this too. Like, he and I think like, oh yeah, we have a pretty good selection of comics on our shelves, or it's a pretty vast collection. And then we look at like Omar's or yours or like Gem Mint's shelves, and we go, oh, we have like a quarter of what's out there.
Well, yeah, but I think, well, I can only speak for myself, but I've been collecting longer than you guys have too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't, I mean, you guys are just starting out. And I think just starting out, you got very nice collections that represent what you like. And that's the important thing. It's not
Hmm.
how much you have, it's having what you like. And so, I mean, I'm due for a purge here probably pretty soon. But I only want to keep stuff that that I haven't read or that I'm going to reread.
Hmm.
I'm not going to keep anything just because it's out of print if I don't like it. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourselves. I've been collecting since I was 6 years old. So, and you guys are just getting started. You're turning your financial aid into comic books. So that's that's dedication, man.
I don't need it for school. I promise. I'm not that dumb. But
and Omar has been collecting a long time too, and he's just as old and pervy as I am. Don't let him fool you.
That's what happened.
I know you guys will burn each other's boxes.
I definitely have a burn box for him.
One of the questions I want to ask you is, I don't own any big titty books, man. What should be my first big titty book? And again, if my mom is watching, just fast forward this part.
Well, the best one ever is Naughty and Nice by Bruce Timm, and it's getting reprinted.
Oh, that creep Bruce Timm. Okay.
Yeah,
Naughty
sorry. He can draw though, man.
No, I'm okay. Naughty and Nice, Bruce Timm.
Yeah,
Bruce
that was one of my top whales. And now it's getting reprinted. So I mean,
oh, that's perfect for me.
It's and I think it's coming out. It's absolute size. Mine is, and not all. It's not just. It features a lot of his DC art with them in their costumes and stuff. So it's really great drawings.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my favorite book of all time.
Okay, I'm gonna buy Naughty and Nice, and if I ever meet you someday, I'm gonna have you sign my Naughty and Nice copy.
You should have Bruce Timm sign it.
Nah,
Omnidog, you're just as important to us, man.
I'm not. Do you think I've asked Bruce Timm for a T-shirt?
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool of you. Thank you.
Of course.
You're welcome, man.
And Omnidog, I know it sounds like I'm trying to cut it short, but I think you said you had something to do in an hour.
Yeah, actually, my pinball repair guy is here now, probably.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you're good. So,
yeah, I'm all set. Hey, thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun. You guys are great guys.
Oh, thank you, man. We genuinely love talking to you. We would love to talk to you again someday.
Oh, I'd love it. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and I will definitely get to work on T-shirts for you guys.
Please.
And okay, and we'll keep you updated on my titty book, and we'll keep you updated on Jordan's copy of Dark Knight Detective Volume 3.
Exactly.
We'll find out in roughly a week, so.
Okay, good. Good luck to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Awesome. But yeah, that'll be this episode for The Brave and the Boys. Thank you all for watching, and check out Omnidog on his channel.
Omnidog's Fault on YouTube.
Yeah.
Remember to smash that like button, guys. Or that dislike button.
Thank you all.